Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Back to You podcast. I am your host, Lily Riley, and I am so excited to be back on the mic with you. I am so happy to be back. I took a week off because I was feeling a big creative block. I've just been feeling a general block in my life, to myself, to everything. I've been feeling really tired, really exhausted, and I want to talk about that today. Because I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and it feels like this is something that a lot of people are moving through. So I want to talk about how I'm currently doing that. And I want to start off by saying that this is showing up as yourself and realizing what is in the way, what is in between that is a constant journey, that you're going to be doing that till the day that you die. And this is just one of the ways I've met my edges. I've met one of my limitations. And something that has been really sticking with me, something that's been really, really, really true is how I believe that we are as human beings is that we're vessels for something greater. We are vessels for the universe, God, source, to move through us. And when we are in our true, authentic power, when we step into what it really means to be a powerful human being, you are open to whatever is coming through you. And why we lose our power, we lose the magic of who we are when we try to be something that we're not, is because we are not aligned with Source. Source is greater than all of us. And when we're connected to ourselves, where do you think Source is? Out there in the galaxies, is within you. And when you're connected to the essence and the truth of what it means to be you, you are connected to everything. You are connected to literally everything. And showing up on social media in the way that I has, and I know this sounds really hilarious to say it, but it has really been a spiritual journey for me, for sure. And it has made me realize how much of myself I'm not okay with showing to the world. The parts of myself that I've shamed and put away in a closet, and the parts of me that I've hidden. And I feel like I'm a very open and authentic human being. And I learn to be more and more of that every single day. And it's still really difficult sometimes. It's really, really difficult. And I even notice with my podcast, I edit the little blocks in between, or I edit when I stutter on something, or I edit when I say something silly. And I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just not going to do that anymore because I just feel like that's the antithesis of the life that I'm trying to live right now, which is without any filters, with just being fully in my authentic power. Because I've been feeling this block because I've been met with these edges, right? The more that I grow on social media, the more that my page expands, the more that I am exposed to more people, which means I'm exposed to people with different opinions, with different ways they see life, different lenses, different perspectives, different cultures they've grown up in. They're going to have something to say about what I have to say, even though I believe what I'm saying is not really controversial. And with that being said, it keeps me from wanting to be even more controversial because there are things that I have very strong beliefs in that I know is going to trigger the shit out of people. And there are things that I can feel that want to move through me, and I want to say them in a certain way, and I try to filter it and I try to change it. And I'm like, oh, if I say it that way, then it's definitely going to upset people, and I definitely shouldn't say it that way, and I should definitely say it this way. And it just turns down the knob of Lily Riley. It doesn't turn down just the knob of shame and guilt and of worry and of sadness and my fear of rejection. It doesn't just turn down the knob of that. It turns down the knob of happiness, of joy. It turns down the knob of Lily, which is everything, because I don't get to pick and choose what parts of Lily Riley exist. Lily Riley is everything: happiness, joy, fulfillment, excitement, ecstasy, also sadness, jealousy, anger, resentment, all of them. All of them are Lily. And I have seen that the more that I get exposed to people, the more that I hear people saying different things, the more people twist what I have to say because they want to invalidate the truth of what I'm saying so they can keep living in their victim story so they don't have to change. And then I take that personally in a moment, and then I go, okay, well, it's just their perspective. I go in this loop thinking, and then I say, oh, well, maybe I should pull back, because the scared Lily, the wounded part of me that's still working on my fear of being rejected, of being pushed away, of being made other than, of feeling inadequate, whatever the lens that I've looked through life, I'm still working on expanding. We will always meet our edges. No matter what level that you're at, no matter where you are, you will always meet another edge of what it means to be you. That's growing. And this has been a huge one, because my page since I quit my job, that was when everything totally took off. And I just get exposed to more and more people. And I try to not look at all of my comments. Like, I get some videos that only get a couple comments, some that get more. And, you know, they vary. And I'm super lucky, because I genuinely have, I would say majority are super positive. And it's so funny, because then we focus on the one that makes us feel a little bit, because that's the part that hits the wound inside of us. But anyways, like I was saying, it has made me want to filter myself. It has made me want to pull back. It has made me want to change a little bit of what I'm saying. And that is difficult, to still show up and show up authentically as me, because I still have to meet myself, because I know when I'm not showing up authentically, because I can't think of what to say. I start stuttering over my words. I say one thing and then my mind goes another direction. And that is my sign for myself. Lily, you are not speaking from your heart. You're trying to say it right. You're trying to say it perfectly. You're trying to make sure you don't step on any toes. Fuck that. Take a moment, take a step back. We got to face what's going on here. And I've done a lot of work over the last week, a lot of facing myself, and a lot of things that I really thought that I had moved through, and I definitely have some more to move through with that. And I think that's great to acknowledge right now, because the more that you expand, the closer you get to another edge. And this is just another one. And the big thing for me is, and this is something that's felt really, really alive, is that I think to some degree I'm waiting for some things to feel easy. I'm waiting for it to not feel hard. I'm waiting for it to not feel scary. I'm waiting for me to feel more sure, or that I have more leverage with more followers, or a bigger, whatever story I am telling myself that I need to show up more authentically or speak my truth. It's really testing me. It's really, really testing me. And there are for sure things that I really want to speak on. There are things that I really want to say. And then I think, wow, I'm actually really afraid to say that. Why am I afraid to do that? Because it's not the thing that I'm afraid of. It's how I think people are going to see me. And that's only because I still see myself that way. I still see myself as these small parts that I still need to have it all figured out. I still need to have the plan. I still need to have the next steps. I still have to sound the most articulate and not sound like an idiot, and sound like a great speaker, and it's never ending. Because even if I fulfilled that within myself, even if I got to a point where I felt safe, it would just be the next thing, because the lens that I'm looking at it through is insatiable. It's inadequacy. I'm not good enough. But if I remove the idea that I had to do anything at all to feel adequate, guess what? I can fucking get in front of the camera and film a podcast episode. I'm in everythingness again, because I am not associating myself with a false version of myself that I believed I had to be. I realize that's just a narrative and a story. And if I recognize the fallacy of it all, I'm back to me. Back to you, get it? Anyways, so it's always a game of getting back to who you are. And a lot of the times we wait until we feel safe to make that step. But actually what's going to give us the clarity is doing it with the fear. And that's the big thing that I've had to realize is there's not going to be a point where I'm in this journey where I'm not going to be afraid. I have so many people that have asked me questions, like friends, family, people in my comments or DMs, and they say, how do I do it? I'm so afraid. Perfect. You're in the perfect place to do it. Now you just got to take action. Fear is always going to be there. Fear is never not going to be there. And for sure, you get more comfortable and you build the skill. And people who are where you want to be, it's not that they don't experience fear. They're fucking scared shitless too. They just know that that's a requirement for where they want to be. They know that that is part of who they are as a human being. That's going with them. It's not like, okay, we're going to leave the fear behind here and then we're going to take a step. No, fear, jealousy, shame, guilt, all the things, they're coming with us too. They're going there. And you're going to be met with that in every single phase of your life. It's not going anywhere. And when you can, and I say this because when you can realize that it's not about this not being difficult. It's not about this not being hard. It's not about this not being scary. It's about you cultivating the deepest sense of knowing within yourself, of conviction and of love and of acceptance of who you are without all the fucking stupid ass masks that we all have. And like all of the versions of ourselves we believe we have to be. Without all of that, you are so in your power. You're merged with God. You're literally merged with everything. And if you got God on your side, if you got the universe on your side, I don't want to get in your way. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to get in your way, buddy. And that's what I keep saying. Even if everyone else were to reject me, even if that were true, even if everyone were to push me aside and say, fuck off, Lily, whatever it is, I am always held by God. I'm always held by nature. I'm always held by the universe. I'm always held. And when I can move through my life knowing that and taking action from there, you feel fucking unstoppable. And the fear feels a little bit lighter. The fear feels not so suffocating anymore. The fear feels like something that can actually teach you. And, you know, it's so tough having these conversations sometimes, because people who think that life is not within their control, but life is not in your control, but how you face life is. And you can create a completely different life based on how you relate to life, based on the actions that you take. We're in co-creation. It's not all about what you do. There's nuance here, and we're not going to get into that. But what was I saying? Right. I was saying people who you have conversations with about this, correct. Normally I would have edited this out, but we're not editing anymore, okay? Lily, you're allowed to lose your place and get back to it. So when we have these conversations with people, and when people believe life happens to you, those are the same people that think life just plops up in people's laps, that life is just handed to people. Those are the people that will say, oh, must be easy for you. Oh, must be nice. Wow, wouldn't that be great? And you know what I say to that? It is fucking nice. It actually is really fucking nice, because it's not easy. Because what it took for me to get here and to have this life and wake up and do what I love, be in loving relationship with myself and with everyone around me, healing my relationship with my mother, which has been one of the biggest things for me, doing what I love every single day, not answering to someone else. My life is mine. For the first time in my life is fucking mine. I get to do what I want. For sure, it is super nice. But that wasn't handed to me. That wasn't just given to me. I fucking worked for that. I made some of the toughest decisions of my life to have that. For sure, it's nice. And I still face difficulty every single day. And I know now that I get to choose my difficulty. And there's going to be things in life that are going to be hard to deal with. Like, just because I choose my difficult doesn't mean I'm not going to have to experience people that I love dying. That's fucking hard. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to experience heartbreak. That doesn't mean I'm not going to experience being scared or things happen for sure. And I actually get, this is me moving through this. I get super defensive when people say, oh yeah, but what about this? I'm not talking about every single freaking experience out there. We're still sentimental beings. We're made to feel. This is not about not feeling anger and sadness. This is about embracing all of it. Because the freedom is when you stop fighting the parts of yourself that you've deemed unworthy. Freedom comes when you are open to every single fucking part of what it means to be you. And you stop hiding it and you stop shaming it and you stop putting different parts of yourself on pedestals and you stop making certain parts of yourself worthy. You're choosing what is God and what is not in your life. That's what you're doing. I had this conversation with someone this morning and I had this moment the other day and it literally brought me to tears again talking about it. And this was a moment that I had about just that God is in everything. I was sitting in my room and I was looking out the window and it was gray. It was a gray day like this. It was gray. The trees, I live in the Northeast. So if you're in the Northeast, you know what a Northeast winter is like. It's gray. It's, there's a lot of dead nature around. And I was looking outside and I was looking at just the death happening in nature, which is part of this natural cycle. And one teaches us the absolute beauty of it. And that no matter what, death is coming, no matter if you fight it or not, and that it's the precursor to life. And I start thinking about this conceptually and I just start thinking and I'm like, this is God's painting. And I'm sitting here and I'm saying, I don't like it. God is literally holding up a painting and saying, do you like my painting? And I'm like, nah, I'd like something else. I wish it was warmer. I wish I was somewhere else. This sucks. Can you imagine? God's sitting in front of you, finishes his painting for the day, shows it to you, and you go, meh, you would never say that. Don't look at me. You would never say that. I know you're never going to be face to face with God in that way. I mean, I don't know, not in this human experience, but you know exactly what I'm saying here. And so I thought about that and I said, that's everything. That is literally every waking moment of your life. Every waking moment of your life. And you sit there and you say, I don't like it. Do you really understand the depth of that? That you are choosing what is and what isn't God. Because you say, I don't like this. I'd rather it be something else. I love when Michael Singer says this. He goes, if you're in a place where you don't like living, and he goes, great, well, let's take you to Mars. Let's take you to Mars and see how long it takes for you. You go up in whatever rover or whatever, and for some reason a cockroach gets in there. There's nothing on Mars. There's nothing. I would place a bet that it would take a day for you to start chasing around that cockroach and making it your best buddy. You come back to Earth and you go, oh my God, there is so much to do here. Wow, thank God that I'm back. Thank God you don't have to learn that lesson, but you can conceptualize it right now. And you can realize that the only issue is that you think you have an issue. That's a big one. That's a big one to swallow. That's a really big one to swallow. And I get it. I get it. I know you're fighting with me right now. I know you're like, this story. I know. I was there too. I get it. I'm not saying abhorrent things don't happen to you. I'm not saying difficult things you don't have to handle. I'm not. And I'm going to get into that thing a whole nother time. I'm just leaving that one on the table. I'm just going to stir the pot and get out of here really quick. But when you can be open to the magnificence and the God and the everythingness in every single moment, and you really let that touch you, I'm telling you, your whole world is going to change. And so going back to this difficulty of being on this path of really being yourself, really being who you were put here to be. This channel, this vessel, this being to channel something greater for the greater good. You understand? The greater good. You start really recognizing what the blocks are. And I had this conversation with myself of just thinking, wow, when I care about what other people think about what I'm doing, when I think they have some judgment, I'm making everything all about me. And it's actually not about the purpose, right? I say, oh, I want to make all this impact. I want to change lives, but I'm afraid what everyone thinks about me. You liar. It's not about everyone else. It's about you, Lil. It's literally about you. Because if it was greater, you wouldn't give a fuck about how you look. You're the vessel, baby. This isn't about you. And when you make it about the views, my videos only get 300 views. Shut up. Like it's not about you. It's not. And I used to think that too, for real. And I say that with love. It's not about you. Because when you make it about you, you're not in your power. You're in this maladaptive self. You're in the ego. You're in the, oh my God, how am I going to look to everyone? You're not merged. You are so separate from your power. When you really connect to what is trying to move through me, baby, you are going to take off like a fucking rocket ship. You are. And how that pans out is not up to you because it doesn't matter. Because it literally doesn't matter. What is meant for you will come to you. And if you continue to live life like an open vessel and you say whatever God can only do for you what you allow for him to do through you. Okay? Be open to who you really are. Remove the mask. Face the parts of yourself that you need to face. Have the courage. And take action from that place and know that the fear is coming with you. All of it's coming with you. You're going to feel jealous for the rest of your life. You're going to feel anger. You're going to feel all these things. I'm not saying you're going to feel them forever, but they're going to come up when they need to. It's a frequency. It's just moving through. Let it fucking move and be free. Be open to all of it. Because when you close off to that, you close off to everything. You close off to everything that you are, not just the parts of you that you want to hide. You close off to your joy. You close off to your creativity. You close off to everything. If you can learn to be open to the parts of yourself that you have closed off for so long, you will get to experience life from such a deeper capacity because you've allowed all of it. All of it. It is so powerful. It gives me freaking goosebumps. I don't know if it's goosebumps from the 29-degree Fahrenheit weather or the truth that's moving through. But I'm sick of living my life in any capacity in that way. And that's what's moving through me today. Stop with the mask. Stop with the editing. Stop with trying to just people don't care about a filtered life. Nobody can relate to that. You want to connect with people? Be your fucking self for sure. Like, so cliche, but be yourself. Literally just be yourself. Watch how life totally changes for you. Things are going to fall apart for sure because the parts of you that were not you, they have to fall apart. And that's a part that's scary. But stay on the path. That's where people go back. They go, okay, I'm going to be myself. And then all the parts of us that aren't us start falling away. And then we're like, ah! It's supposed to happen. Stay. Your medicine is to stay. So I'm actually going to cut this now because my camera is flashing a dead battery and I could just keep riffing on this. But that's what's coming through today. I love you all so dearly. Truly, I love you so much. I'm so happy that you're here always. And I'm so stoked for this new era, new Lily. It's always a new Lily every day. And we're just getting started. So thanks again for tuning into another episode. Seriously, all my love always. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.